All right, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome back to another Clearmud live stream. Let's get straight into it, shall we? How's everyone doing today? Forgive the delay. I promise 30 past the hour is not going to be the normal start time. It's just if something comes up in the morning, I do have to. And good evening. Welcome back to another. We are live. I have to essentially delay it, but for the most part, I try to avoid doing this. Let's see, let's mute that tab so that doesn't come back. Also, for my video editors out there, Greg dropped this new video. I already watched through it, but I'm gonna apply some of the learnings from it. I'm very excited to apply some of those little tricks. Of course, as with any YouTube creator who's sharing their process, they're trying to sell you some type of kit, you know, some type of plugin kit or little custom solutions that they build out, but they do show the process, and I'd rather learn the process from scratch. So I'm teasing it, but this is going to be one of two videos this week. We're going to test Hermes Agent Desktop. I'm not going to do it on the live stream. Instead, I'm going to record a video right after the live stream. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting sick. Like, I don't even click on the videos anymore. I lose respect slightly. And I hate to say this, but I lose respect for other channels when they say, this is insane. And everyone and their mothers are saying this is insane. So I'm going to start framing things like, is this actually insane? Like, so I get it. It gets the clicks, yada, 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 yada. But I could still use the terminology without sounding like a broken record. You know what I mean? And that's going to be my approach moving forward. It's like, I'm just, you know what I mean? Like, what's up, Maestro? How you doing today? Yo, what's up, Solo? How we doing? Good morning. What's up, Sharma? Good evening. Good afternoon, Mr. Baker. Have you had a chance to test out Hermes Desktop? So let's add that to the calendar. Ooh, why is that delaying so long? What's going on? I noticed that when I started working on this new script pipeline, which it's coming along, it's not ready yet, so I'm going to finish building it over the weekend. But essentially, I go through the process and then I can generate thumbnails based off of it. It's pretty nifty, pretty sweet. All right, so we're gonna drop that on most likely Saturday. Move that over to the film column. Put thumbnails all caps because I didn't do that yet. And let's go check out the film column, shall we? I didn't like the title there. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be doing these two videos here this week. Although this is also a very good one, but I feel like this one should be next week after we give some context before that. Why is this lagging a bit this morning, eh? Clearmud OS is usually snappy. It's usually very snappy. Interesting. I think it's time I migrate. I've already migrated my PM board in MuddyOS to Convex. I'm slowly migrating things over to Convex because I'm noticing, like, the more I build out and work on these internal systems in OpenClaw, the archaic way of building it all local first, it's, you know, sure, it's reliable, but things are getting bulky. And I'd rather use a real-time database like Convex to store certain information. So my content calendar is essentially going to be on a Convex plan, as well as, you know, MuddyOS. I already created a MuddyOS plan there. Yo, about to finish painting this piano. Here we go. Interesting. So I'm guessing it's some type of special paint when you paint a piano, if I'm not mistaken. Like some type of glossy finish? Because every time I think piano, I think like black or brown gloss. Yeah. And this is exactly like, so I've already seen a few videos saying the desktop app is insane. And I'm like, yo, come on, it can't be that insane. Like, it's like the boy who cried wolf. Like, at some point, nobody's gonna believe you or take you seriously, right? And that's how I feel with that's how I feel with a lot of these. And I hate to just openly, I'm not gonna name names, okay? You guys can figure it out for yourself. But when you constantly say something is insane and the next thing is insane and insane and insane, it's like at some point you're gonna lose credibility, right? So I'm gonna listen. I've tried to always be transparent here. So I'm gonna start structuring my videos in a way to where I can try to capture the attention of people who think things are insane. However, just give my raw output as far as like, is this insane? No, it's not. Is this cool? Yeah, definitely cool. Who's this for? You know, I can already see that the desktop app for Hermes is more so for people who are more comfortable in a chat interface, right? People who love ChatGPT, just chatting with your bot. It's creating a very retail user-friendly interface is what I'm noticing. The big differences between the Hermes desktop app and the dashboard. But I digress. I'll stop talking about it because I'm going to record a video. I haven't played with it yet. I've only been researching and looking at what other people are doing. And I'm just going to record a raw video after this live stream of me installing it, connecting it to my VM, and then experimenting, testing, getting my raw reaction like on camera real time. So, yo, what's up, KCE? Welcome. Hey, I appreciate you. Thanks for being here. Anything I can do to improve, just always drop a comment on a video. You know, I always get to all the comments. I'm a little behind right now, I will admit. I've been trying to get to all the comments right away this week, but anything prior than a week past, I need to catch up on for sure. I'm guilty of that, but thanks for being here. I appreciate you. What's up, Backwoods? How you doing, Sean? Hermes Desktop, oh my God. Appreciate you, Maestro. Is there a Hermes setup guide you recommend? I want to set up a multi-agent sort of thing to manage different businesses and be a second brain, but not sure about the best memory architecture for it. Yeah, so I'm slowly releasing just a suite of videos. I think this one might be the most useful for a multi-agent team. Now, it's going to be a shorter video. I'm more so going to be handing out an HTML doc that you can feed to your agent or a fresh system that's going to teach you how to properly delegate things and create department heads, and primarily just focus on communicating with your main executive assistant, your COO, and then all of the department heads. And then they all have their own agent profiles. I don't really have a video for that yet on Hermes. I'll be honest. This is also a new channel I discovered. I want to start watching more of, but let me just go double check. Are you more referencing, KC, like a setup guide, just setting it up from scratch? Because if that's the case, I do have one here. It's install Hermes Agent on Windows 10. You can follow this along with, like, it depends on how you want to host it. I personally don't use these OpenClaw or Hermes for that matter. I don't install them locally on my daily driver. It's not that I'm skeptical. I know the risks, and I don't want it to have full control of my personal PC or my personal workstation, which is part personal, part work. So that's why I create these virtual machines that are sandboxed. And then I give the agent systems full access to those environments. Not everybody's like me, right? So it's really a matter of figuring out, you know, if you can answer some questions for me, Casey. It's like, do you want to install it locally? What operating system are you running on? And then as far as, you know, setting up a multi-agent sort of thing, I would first just draw, like, this is why I'm putting together this agent atlas, is I'm now starting to create delegation maps, right? This is slowly coming along. I do plan on releasing this to the public, but I first built this for me because I wanted a place to visualize my team before I built it. And this, at first, it was just vanity, it was surface, right? It was just a way for me to visualize, okay, who's gonna be my department head? How many agents and what agents do I want in that department? Now these are actually legitimate profiles on my system. Now, they don't all have context. I've only been working on the engineering lane and the growth, or rather the research lane right now. These two are coming up next. But I'm now creating rules of delegation. And I have a certain delegation map that I will release to the public once it's finally tuned. But this should be able to help anybody. I do plan on releasing this Agent Atlas as an open source plugin at some point. But I think the next step is, I need to create an onboarding process for it. So when somebody installs it into their, Hermes Agent system, like the Atlas may not intelligently know, depending on how you name your agents, what agent goes in what lane, what lanes you have, how many lanes you have, etc. So this, I'm guessing maybe 2 weeks. Realistically, by the end of the month, this should be live. I think what we're going to start doing is within the community, within the Discord, I'm just going to hand it out for beta testers, for anybody willing and wanting to test this. That way I can try to figure out what are some of the bugs out of the gate, what are some of the pain points when you first install the plugin. And yeah, what's really cool though is, after I did all this work on this, and I did a whole bunch of work over the weekend with just rules of delegation and rules of operation, Neo, my executive assistant, was able to look at this map and say, oh wow, I can create a delegation map from this, right? And I didn't have to do that manually. It was able to visualize it through my traditional org chart list view here, which is pretty nifty. I'm using a black lacquer. Is that French for liquor? I don't know. Okay, nice. I prefer the black matte finish pianos. I would imagine a matte finish is better so that the fingerprints and it's less maintenance to clean. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, nice. We used to have a piano in my house growing up, but it was for my sister. She was the golden child. She did everything right. I was the knucklehead. I was the troublemaker, sadly. Or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it. Yeah, I think this is also critical too. It's like using Hermes at first, like you don't have to have it all figured out. You could just use it with a fresh install. Just start chatting to it like you would ChatGPT and start asking it questions, asking it what it can do, asking it what it thinks about your vision for your team, right? And then slowly building from there. I'm a big advocate. Since you're new here, I'm not going to sound like a broken record to you, but for everybody else, I will. I think it's very, very important to start as simply as possible. Create one agent, one workflow, and then layer on, right? If you start trying to create a very complex system with a lot of different lanes and a lot of different rules up front without just creating one agent with one rule, with one workflow, with one cron, one skill, etc., you'll have a harder time getting to that goal than you would if you just start with one thing and then layer on another, and later, before you know it, you'll have 30 agents if you just start building one. Learning how to refinish, so I'm doing simple finishes. I have a pro. Okay, that's good. Yeah, we can't do everything, And it's cool that you have somebody you work with, and I'm sure referrals go both ways, right? You give him work, he gives you work. So it's good to have those types of professional relationships for sure. I don't know. I've seen some videos that claim it's absolutely insane. I did not. It's been a busy few days here. That realistically, it's not going to be something I'm going to be able to deploy until the weekend, if I'm being brutally honest. We can try to deploy one this live stream. The only issue is I feel like we need to take some time to configure it and give it some context. But it is on my list. What just went to the top of my list, I don't know if anybody is aware. Where is he? Why isn't that tab open? Let me go find it. So anybody who's been on YouTube for a while knows PewDiePie. he's a massive YouTube channel, and he's just been on his, what's up, buddy? I just realized I pinned your comment and didn't say hello. How you doing today? I love how Maestro says, what up, text. Okay, nice. So you want to run it locally on your Mac OS X, right? You don't want to do a VM or anything like that. And Open Router. So what models through Open Router? Are you just kind of flexible as to, or you want to use one of those local models? Ah, okay. Yeah, so I've found so far, right? I haven't handed off too many code bases yet. I'm still dialing in the delegation map, right? And testing it first and foremost. Like, it's one thing to have your agent say, okay, I have my delegation map, but it's another thing to actually test workflows. It's not going to be perfect. I've found that it made some mistakes. Neo has made some mistakes early on, but he's getting better and better to where I have an idea late at night. I send a voice memo to Telegram to Neo. He maps out what needs to be done, hands off the overall tasks to each department head. Now I'm testing each department head. Are they actually delegating out to their sub-agents, right? Or rather their agent profiles that live in their lane. That's one next thing I'm testing here. Yeah, it is. I mean, do you have a vision? I think a context dump is very important, for sure. I have a cron scheduled to remind me to do that this weekend, where I'm just going to sit down, voice to text, and talk to my agent. And I'm just going to feed it a ton of context about, you know, it already knows a bit about Clearmud, but my OpenClaw system knows more about my short, medium, and long-term visions for the company and the brand overall. Whereas my Hermes Agent system is more so for product OS, which I'm labeling. I'll tease it here a little bit. I've shown it off in live streams. It's on hold right now while I dial in this agent atlas and making sure that just my delegation map actually works. And once I have at least, I would say 3 to 5 automations per department head and department for that matter, then I'll start working on product OS again. But my Hermes Agent team is going to be focused on products, projects, anything customer facing, anything front facing. Hermes Agent is going to handle it and has already started to handle it. So as far as my day-to-day operations, my content creation, listen, my OpenClaw system is so dialed in. I recorded a video of me attempting to migrate it. Sorry, this heater's way too hot. It's just so dialed in. I have no intention of moving that system off of OpenClaw. There's just no point for me. Everything's working fine. So, but yeah, like going back to it, I don't think you should start with something like this, right? I think you should start with one other agent, and then you communicate with this agent as your executive assistant. Most people will use the default agent. I've decided to, if you go look at my profiles, at first I was using default as Neo, and then I realized, you know what, maybe I should use default as the system admin, right? As since I'm using product OS to tie in directly with my dashboard, I'm using this default agent to connect via API, to connect certain services, to stream certain content to my custom OS. So that's how I'm doing it. I'm not saying that's how you should do it, but I like the idea of leaving default as that system admin, as that root, right, user. And then I've created all these other agents. I've only named a few of them, right? We have Neo, Oracle, Mouse, Morpheus, and Architect up top. These are our department heads. And then for all the other agents that live underneath a certain lane, I actually just name them what they are. So engineering lane, and then back end. Engineering lane, front end, right? And this allowed my Atlas to pick up and automatically like put each agent in their lane. It was pretty nifty. Ooh, Had to mute my mic there for a second. But I don't think you should start with this. I think you should start, like, without squirreling too much, start building just one thing and then communicate with that one thing, that one agent. I would treat it as an executive assistant personally. That's how I like to structure things, the COO, if you will. And then have him or her and you kind of collaborate back and forth as far as what do you want to accomplish in your system? What do you want to build? You know, I think less is more, always less is more. Start with as few as possible and then expand from there. That's always my advice, is just start simply. What's going on, Maestro? I want a baby grand in my house. No idea how to play, but will someday. Nice. I wonder if you can set up an agent to teach you. I'm sure you can. No, I'm not. I'm relying solely on each system. So let me rephrase that actually. For OpenClaw, I am using Convex for certain parts of my MuddyOS and Clearmud OS now. However, I still built a lot of this locally. This is still a local database on my VM. I am going to be migrating it over to Convex because I've been noticing some slight lag when operating it. And I think it's just because we just have so much data in here now after using this for months. It's time to use something like Convex. I knew this time was coming, but good afternoon. Hope everyone is well. Rose Hermes running great. Let's go, Nicholas. Good to hear. Good morning or good afternoon. Appreciate the advice. Thankfully, you didn't attend the Alex Finn School of Marketing. Yeah, I didn't. Ah, okay. Yeah, I don't have too much hands-on experience with this one. Listen, I only speak to what I know. And right now I'm primarily just working with all the frontier models. And I'd love to start working with other models, especially local models. But listen, I have a budget issue and, you know, I'm bootstrapping this brand. I'm doing side hustles to put food on my table. So until Clearmud starts paying me a full-time salary, I probably won't be able to budget for new hardware to test local models. Yeah. I was gonna say something else, but I don't think it's necessary. Yes, I have been. I mean, thanks to everybody in chat here. I'm primarily looking at Honcho or Hindsight between the two. But me personally, so this is how I operate. I'm not gonna just go and use something because everybody else is using it. I would first rather test the limitations of the memory, of the built-in memory solutions through Hermes. And then once I start to notice some issues, once I start to find a pain point, then I'll go and set up the likes of Honcho or Hindsight or one of these other layers, right? I'd rather try to break it. I'd rather try to get it to hallucinate so I can figure out what's happening. I'm not gonna just go and complicate my system with another layer when I don't need it yet. And I did the same for OpenClaw. And I personally, listen, I'm in no rush to set it up. Not to say I won't, I'm just in no rush to set it up. Rose for home assistant that tucks to the entire house and Claire is my agent. This might be an odd approach. I mean, do you want them to have shared memory? You could always go look at a solution like Gbrain. But again, like, I can't speak too much to these because I don't have these operational between my systems, you know? Yeah, this right here, Mr. Baker. Start with one agent, talk to about a workflow, and it can help you build out the different specialist agent profiles, create the Kanban board and workflow rules, then help you start dialing it in. Nice. Yeah, and hey, like maybe that's your preferred route. You know, I have a personal OC bot that I'm never gonna connect that with any of my other systems, right? That one's for me. That one is, you know, that's the first thing I look at every morning now. And it has nothing to do with Clearmud. It's just for me. It's a personal OpenClaw assistant. And I was originally, just because like for me, I haven't been using OpenClaw or Hermes from a personal standpoint. And for the clients I've been helping, I haven't been using it, you know, in a small manner. I've been building multi-agent teams. So like naturally when I built out my personal OpenClaw bot, I was like, at first it was just one. And then I started building out a team just intuitively or by force of habit, if you will. And like it took me like a day and a half to realize, wait a second, I don't need all these agents. I'm just gonna use one agent and I'm just gonna hammer it with as much as I can until it becomes a problem, and then I need to create another agent on the same system, of course. DeepSeek version 4 Flash and Pro seem like a capable team of models. This is what I've been hearing, and I'm looking forward to testing these. Who are you talking to? No, not necessarily. I think after this week, I'll have a better answer for you. And the main reason is I've primarily just been researching and seeing what other people are saying about Hermes Desktop rather than setting it up myself. I'm going to record a video after this live stream of just first impressions. Like, is it really insane? You know, and I'm just going to go through the flow of like, okay, this is cool. This is cool. I see why they released this, right? But as far as changing the strategy, this is actually a good thought as far as like, am I going to set it up using the desktop app? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. I think I'll have a better answer for you in a week. And I think by the, I don't want to wait too long. I'd say by the end of the month at the latest, we'll have a date scheduled for the bootcamp. And I'd actually like everybody's feedback right now. And if you're watching this recording, let me know. Would you rather see this bootcamp happen in a one-day period? Or do you want to see it happen over the course of 5 days, Monday through Friday? What would be your preference? One just massive bootcamp video that obviously it's going to be raw, so I'd have to divvy it out after the fact as far as adding chapters and things like that. Or would you rather see 5 separate videos or live streams for that matter that happen consecutively? I'm very, very curious. Nice. What are your first impressions, Sharma? And I'll just tease a little bit the delegation map for the engineering there for anybody who wants to see. Ah, okay. She. I don't mean to dox you, Barika. But I love how I'm... At least I'm not the only one who called you Tex. I honestly don't think the desktop app fundamentally changes the setup. It's just another way of using Hermes Agent. It doesn't add any new features or anything. Yeah, and my first impressions without setting it up and testing it is, I think what they're trying to accomplish with the desktop app is making it more retail or consumer friendly. Someone who wants to use it as a personal bot first and foremost. Yes, you have the capabilities to build out teams, add automations, etc. But I think they're making it very user friendly. End user friendly. That's my first impressions on the desktop app. Now, does it have all of the same functionality as Hermes dashboard? I don't think so. I think it's, I don't want to say a dumbed down version of it, but a more polished version of not overwhelming the end user with too many options and too many administrative views. Does that make sense? Is that accurate based off of your testing so far, Mr. Baker? And for anybody curious, Mr. Baker is our in-house Hermes Agent alpha. Like, he found the channel when we started streaming Hermes Agent, and he's just stuck around. I love it. I'm glad to have him. I know he doesn't. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Baker. Have you ever played with OpenClaw? I had to correct him. Because I know. Right? I know for the OC Bootcamp, we built in a ton of admin pages. Yeah, for sure. Because with OpenClaw, we had to, for what I envisioned and what I was trying to show off as far as how I built Muddy OS. Because the inspiration for that OpenClaw Bootcamp was the response and just how crazy that video went when I showed off Muddy OS. I was like, wow, we should make a bootcamp building one from scratch. So I built it with that mindset. Now with the Hermes Agent Bootcamp, no. It's my hope to have this atlas ready for the bootcamp, but it won't be like a focus point. It'll be towards the end of the bootcamp, right? I think you're absolutely right. Like, we're going to be doing less building out custom dashboards and custom pages, and more so utilizing their dashboard, because this is no shade on OpenClaw, but Hermes's dashboard is actually far more functional than OpenClaw's was in the period of time from its inception to when we're doing the bootcamp, right? It has all of the features we would want. We just have to teach people how to navigate and use it. You know what I mean? So, okay, good to know. Yeah. And maybe we'll work on the curriculum a little bit Friday, because Friday is going to be a short one, most likely. Friday, I have a lot of things lined up, and I'll be able to start at 9, but will I be able to go till 12 p.m.? I don't think so. Fellow Texan, let's go. Wait a second. Hold up. Are you a Cowboys fan? It's all love. I'm just messing with you. It's all love. But are you a Cowboys fan? I'm curious. You wouldn't be the only one in chat. And will you stop calling me an expert? I don't know if I used the word expert. I said, what did I say? Did I say alpha? I guess I did say Hermes Agent expert. Shit. Excuse my language. Okay. So I think we can get along a little bit better. Niners. I know. But we're also not division rivals, you and I, right? Me and the Cowboys, though, it's a little bit different. But Tex might have some words. Tex and Greek in chat. I promise I'll stop, Mr. Baker. I've started fiddling with OC, but honestly, I haven't found anything that OC can do for me that Hermes can't do. Yeah, I think from an org perspective, I think Hermes is the go-to, but from a personal perspective, I think OC is still the way to go. I think Hermes is overkill for a personal agent, in my opinion. I could, that's just, and to be clear, this is the type of person I am. We're all unique individuals out here, right? We all learn in different ways. We all operate in different ways. For some people, Hermes might be the move, right? I'm not telling you to just listen to me and blindly go use OpenClaw as your personal bot. It's just what works for me. And what works for me isn't always going to be what works for you. Or looking at it through the old rose tinted glass. Old rose tinted glasses? What's the saying? I feel like I understand what you're trying to say. Yeah, and listen, that's exactly where I stand with Muddy OS and Clearmud OS. Not only maybe it's the fact that I spent all that time building out those custom solutions, but everything just works. Why am I going to take days, if not weeks, out of my time to migrate a system that's fully functional? If it breaks, if things stop working, and I get so frustrated to the point where, you know what, I think it's time to migrate, then I'll explore that. But I don't think that day will come. Now, will I be on OC forever for day-to-day ops? I doubt it, but we'll see. Not to each their own. Yes, yes. And to be clear, it's all love. It's all love. When they play the Eagles, because that is what we do. Ah, yes, 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 yes. Gotcha. All right. Now, everything's starting to look good. We built out this kind of skills viewer, which is awesome. I'm wondering if we should also add an option to add skills through the Atlas. What do you think, chat? You think that'll be a useful tool? Now, this also has this preview. I gotta kind of fine tune this part here. But then once you click skills, it goes full screen into skills, which is pretty nifty. Again, this 3D part is vanity. It is my goal, though, to eventually correlate this 3D agent atlas with your Kanban board and all of your, obviously, it already correlates with your agent profiles. But to see which agent's doing what work at what time. I think we're gonna have to change the whole structure of the floor plan if we do that, or I just create another one for that. I'm not sure yet. But what do I want to improve here? I mean, honestly, it's looking good. I don't know how I feel about this. I feel like it should just be click to search and preview. All right, Neo. I want you to do all this work now. Don't delegate. But I'm looking at the floor plan for the agent atlas as well as the 3D plan. When I click an agent and hover over skills, it previews, I think, 10 to 15 skills. I think that the hover tooltip should just say click to search and preview all skills. And I think that once we start restricting skills per agent, it should only show the skills attached to that agent, right? Skills and tools, for that matter, that agent can utilize. So one minor tweak, that tweak should apply it across the floor, the 3D. Let me see the list. You know what? I kind of like the list where it's at. If anything, for the list view, actually, no. No, let's just make it consistent across all three viewpoints. So when you hover over skills, the tooltip should just say click to search and preview. And then we do have a minor UI tweak. When the name is short, let's see, actually, for the most part, it's actually looking good. Let's see, where did I see that? Implementation is actually the only agent that sits outside of its tile, its avatar tile on the 3D view when I'm clicking in the preview. But everything else, let me just click on all these agents to be sure. Yeah, everything else is perfect. That's interesting. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions. And I feel like I do want to... Oh, we were talking about Gbrain, Clearmud strategy dump. Okay. No, this is just admin related work here. I think we should also change the plugin. I think we should also change the plugin icon on the Hermes dashboard for Atlas. Instead of it being a puzzle, as much as I like the puzzle, let me find you an icon. kind of like that user topology, chart network, type in chart. Honestly, I almost feel like this this bot, come to think of it, didn't we actually already change it to that? Oh, we changed it to that in product OS, but not the actual root plugin. That's hilarious. All right. So yeah, let's use this just to see how it looks. Wait, why am I seeing messages being held for review? That is not, let me also catch up on comments, forgive me. Oh, that's a great song. I love that. Yo, what's up, Duval? Welcome. I think that's a new face. So welcome to the channel. This is great. This is great. And I think that's why Hermes is so much better, right? Because Hermes comes from these not to say Peter's not intelligent. He's intelligent, but just who built Hermes, it makes sense that it's excelling at certain tasks better than OC. It's better for certain, especially enterprise and organizational, from an organizational standpoint, than OpenClaw natively, right? That being said, I didn't take my own advice and I'm now using Hermes. I see broke mode that I can use it. Oh. Yeah, OC primarily breaks when I update. That's why I don't update every update. I try to avoid the updates as much as possible. That's a good question. I think I did. I can't remember when or why, but I just felt like it wasn't necessary, that it just kind of cluttered up the screen. It just didn't look right to me. So like the whole idea is like, you know what your floor plan looks like. So once you go to 3D, I mean, you're naturally going to know which one's which, right? That's why I removed it. I think it's more nice for like thumbnail purposes. You know what I mean? Like when I finally release this and drop it and make that repository public, maybe I'll do that with like, I think we're also going to improve this whole world as well. We're just more so focused on this floor plan. I think so. Let's try it right now, shall we? Now, we used a, what's it called? An isometric 2D approach for this. So let me look into that as soon as Neo's done with this work. And he changes the icon in the dashboard for us. We'll look into that. We'll try it live. Why not? You know, I'm rewatching that on the side just for fun. And man, it's a throwback. It's a throwback. I love it. Why they have to do Ned Stark like that? It's fucked up, man. He deserved to be around for multiple seasons, but I know that when they were first filming that series, season 1, they didn't know if they were going to do a season 2. You know what I mean? Like, I think this would be a fun experiment. I probably wouldn't do it for this Agent Atlas. I would probably make this feel more like an office, but I'd be curious to see. I know you've already accomplished that, haven't you? If I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah. Here, let me go show that off for you. Pretty sick. It's pretty sick. Now, the only note I have, Badika, is I would have, like, don't we have some type of top? Is this based off of the map? Like, isn't there like some type of map that they always reference in all the episodes? Let me try to pull it up. Let me not squirrel too much though, because I want to make sure we finish this part too. Let's do a hard refresh. Probably gonna need it for this one. Nice. Look at that. Oof. Oof. That's looking real good. Looking real good. Oof. Loving it. Now, what about implementation? Where you at? It's still okay. It's better. It's better. We might have to just rename that one, to be honest. What's a shorter word for implementation? Yeah, now I'm curious. Let's go to images.google. Game of Thrones Atlas map. Or I guess that was just Westeros, right? Now I'm curious. Westeros. Okay, so this is Westeros. This is the Narrow Sea, right? Or what do they call it? The Black Sea? The Narrow Sea, I think. This reminds me of a World of Warcraft zone. Just because it has that more taller approach. All right, everybody new tuning in is like, what is this, Game of Thrones episode? It's not an AI channel. I love it though. Hey, good to see you too, El. Appreciate you. Cheers. Hope you have a good day. I know, right? Ah, okay, okay. Nice. That's actually, I have all the ingredients. I'm either gonna cook that today or tomorrow. I had other things that I had to kind of go through, but I am cooking that this week, Sharma, for sure. I have all the ingredients just chilling over there. Got it. Okay. Middle Earth map of Arda. Is this a Lord of the Rings reference? Oh yeah, but going back to it, PewDiePie, I realized I squirreled. He launched his own AI workspace, self-hosted. Now, I haven't tested this yet. Pre-Lord of the Rings. Okay, got it. But he built this primarily because he built out an insane machine to run local AI models. So I'm not sure if this is local only or if we can attach our OpenAI subs to it. You know what I mean? Let me make sure I didn't skip through any comments here. No, I don't. And by the way, I did incorporate Lobster into our setup, and I did it primarily for the, for like the blog post that we do about each long form. And I love it. It's great. It pings me in Telegram. Anytime there's a blocker, it pings me once it's ready for approval. But I didn't incorporate it into all of my automations because I found that for me, at least for me, my situation, it was giving me more work than just trusting the cron plus skill to do the work for me. Now, it's great for validation and like letting me know each step of the way what's happening. But as far as, am I going to be using it for every single automation on OpenClaw? Probably not. But Mr. Baker might know of a plugin like that. Not to say he's an expert, but but has anybody else heard of Odysius yet? I was kind of thinking of deploying one really quickly live just to see what happens, to see if we can connect our OpenAI sub. So I'm setting up a fresh Ubuntu demo account for just miscellaneous stuff. Yeah, why not? All right, let that work. Yeah, meant to be the self-hosted version of ChatGPT and Claude. So it's not necessarily, you know, competition to OpenClaw or Hermes, although I'm sure somebody will fork it to do so. You know what I mean? But I mean, this answers it first. Local first, privacy first, and no Trojan. Interesting. I guess what we can still try to do is deploy it with like a Gemma 4 to see how it runs, you know? And if I remember correctly, there is a cookbook that scans the hardware that it's on and recommends model, which is pretty cool. You don't have to go do that ahead of time. It's pretty nifty. So we're gonna see what this VM can run, essentially, is what's about to happen. I'll just call this demo across the board. I know it's weak, it's fine. See what happens. Yeah, okay, Casey. Thank you for the clarification. Yeah, I just, you know, my feed knows me, and I started seeing this word, and I'm like, interesting. And then I saw PewDiePie's I keep thinking I'm saying his name wrong. PewDiePie's face, and I was like, oh, I know that he stopped kind of doing what he was doing, and he's now just like full, like, I don't want to say he's all in, but like all he does is really does work with AI right now, and he's primarily focused around AI local models. So that's what caught my eye. And listen, we're kind of turning this live stream into a part. Did he call it Odyssey? Odysius? Odysius? I don't know why this English has become so difficult for me. Odysius? Yeah, no, he does. Or rather, he is. I think he is. I know that he grew, you know, a rather large YouTube audience, and in most cases, when you see somebody with a large YouTube audience, they're not always the sharpest. But I think he's one of those few exceptions that he just makes stuff that he wants to make, you know? I remember when he stopped. Try with an online voice speller what they say. Let's go check, Duval. I'm now curious. It's a great. It's a great idea.
Odysius.
Odysius. I was close. Odysius. Okay. Yo, what's up, Derek? How we doing today? Looked at Odysius. I looked at Odysius last night. Looks like it requires OpenAI compatible API endpoints such as Ollama OpenRouter. Don't think OAuth is supported yet. Yeah, I'm sure somebody's gonna have to fork a solution for that. I don't know if PewDiePie is gonna do that because he's a local first model user, right? I don't think he would want to turn this into some project that he has to maintain for everyone, you know. Most of like, I say crypto Twitter, but most of Twitter gets very aggressive. Like Twitter users get very aggressive towards, you know, people who release projects. They request so much. So I highly doubt he wants to turn it into that type of project. So I think somebody would have to fork it. Yeah, this right here. Yeah, he can. No, he can. I mean, when you have 100 million plus subs on YouTube, you can afford to do anything you want to do. Like, if you think about that, like, you can afford to do anything. It's like, what do you want to do at that point? And please continue doing the work you were doing. I just am getting impatient and wanted to send this. All right, this might take a few more minutes here. Should be rather quick. Should be rather quick. But like he's incorporated certain features that obviously it would have made OpenClaw and Hermes very, very powerful. Like, the only thing I don't see is like a project management type feature. Correct me if I'm wrong. Am I blind here? Or I guess in a way that the agent feature is it, right? Okay. Well, we're about to test this here in a moment. Right here, we're gonna use this path. Yeah, the rest of us have to slum it with OpenAI and quad subs. Yeah, I think at some point, you know, I'll invest in a home laboratory to go down that path. But as I mentioned, listen, I'm bootstrapping this. I don't get paid for anything here. Sure, I could take tactics to try to generate revenue, but at what cost? You know what I mean? To put more money in my pocket? That'll happen long term, organically. I'm not rushing to that point. And I think once I have a budget for building out a really cool home laboratory, I will, and we'll be experimenting with that together, you know. Whoa, did something happen? Did my Hermes agent just lock up? Yeah, look at this. The VM's just completely locked up. Maybe it's time I give him more resources. I feel like I didn't give him too much to do. OpenClaw is fine. I am getting some errors there, but like nothing on Hermes's VM is accessible. Agent's not talking. Huh. Dashboard's not reloading. Oh, maybe it is. Let's see if we can get this to load. Maybe that was just a slight hiccup. I think that was that was a slight hiccup. Yeah. Device memory is nearly full. Oh, all right. Time to up the memory on this one, eh? Yeah. Time to up the memory on this one. Wow. Okay. All right. I think we're going to have to do that right now. Well, let me let him finish the task and then we'll shut it down and bump it up to 12 gigs of memory. Ooh, French press is done. The type of day where I'm gonna have to go make a second one here momentarily. Yeah, and this machine shouldn't be affecting it. This is on a whole different piece of hardware. So it should not be affecting Hermes. I think it's just we've been building up Hermes bit by bit. I think it's time, because Muddy's operating off of 12. 12 was the sweet spot for Muddy. So I think it's time to bump this Hermes VM up to 12. But we have to wait till he finishes this work. We'll shut him down momentarily, upgrade the memory, and should be good to go. What was it called? Nemo? Is it Nemo? Some type of Nemo model, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, exactly. Now, I don't even think it's, let's see. No, it's still a puzzle. Yeah, it's still a puzzle. I don't even think it got this message, just like slipped through the cracks. Because he was locked up when I sent it. Yeah, okay. Very nice, very nice. I'm sure in the winter that thing's clutch. Yeah, so I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gateways. Maybe it's just 5? Hold on. Here I'm counting me as 1, 1, 2. Yeah, 6 total gateways. So I have the default, Neo, Architect, Mouse, Morpheus, and Oracle all have their own gateways. And then these do not, right? They are their own profiles, but they don't have their own gateways that start up. These are only called upon when needed. Ah, that's right. That's right. Was it really down in the 40s? Sheesh. I still want to see what happens. Let's see what happens. Nemotron. Nemo. I knew it was Nemo something. Thank you, Mr. Baker. Yeah, I guess that falls in line with their announcement for ARM-based CPUs for Windows-based PCs, right? Ah, Quebec. Very nice. Parlez-vous français? Parlez-vous un petit peu? I used to be able to speak it almost fluently in my teenage years, but as I grew older, I learned Portuguese over French because I am Portuguese. But I do want to relearn it. It's a beautiful language. But I do know, if I'm not mistaken, Quebec is known for its French, right? Man, you know, it's still on my list to just do a road trip across. Ah, très bien, très bien. Very nice. Cool. Well, I promise, right now I'm just learning Italian on the side, but maybe I just drop Italian and start learning French. It should be, in theory, because I spent 4 years learning it in high school. I also went to live, I lived in Aix-en-Provence, in Marseille, for 2 months for this foreign exchange program where we were all at this, like, I don't even know if it was a school per se, but it was this big, like, piece of property. It had some classrooms, and then we were all boarded. It was like this foreign exchange thing where there were 4 kids to a room. There was an American, an Italian, a Spaniard, I don't even know if that's the proper term right now, and then someone from France. And I want to say there was 12 total rooms, so it was a rather big program. And then for the last 2 or 3 weeks of the trip, we then took a train all the way through up to Paris. Yeah. But very nice. So, like, listen, I was speaking it when I was there, and I don't know, you could tell I'm an American. At least at that time I didn't speak very well with Portuguese, but my few words. Thank you. Ah, okay, very nice. Yeah, it's still on my list to do not only a cross-country road trip and hit each state, but I wanna jump up into Canada, because obviously to get to Alaska, right? But I also want to explore parts of Canada as well. I have plans for this. Looks like they all decided to give Microsoft some love, but everything else AI related, NVIDIA have used Ubuntu, so they'll support Ubuntu. Perfect, beautiful. Winter is when kids are made. Derek would know. Derek knows. It is known. It is known, Khaleesi. Isn't this a saying? Oh, I'm dead. This is great. They're all Romance language. So Latin based and similar. Up DB? What up, Maestro? Yeah, and I'm hoping that once we get this up and running here, maybe it'll recommend us to run Gemma 4. All I picture in my head right now is that movie Ted, that teddy bear, where he starts talking like I probably can't say most of that movie on this channel without getting some type of strike, so yeah, I think a mix of van life. You probably wouldn't see it on the channel, right? I think I would keep the channel to AI, but I do have a personal channel that would probably be the home there. The only issue I'm thinking of now is like finding that middle ground of being able to record videos on a whim while also doing van life. You know what I mean? Like, that would be the most difficult part. And I think the solution there is 2 or 3 days out of the week, rent an Airbnb, record my videos, or go to a workspace, record my videos, etc. Continue hitting the road for the rest of the week. So we'll see. Ted. Tracy knows. Yeah. Oh, I so badly want to go just play a clip from that right now. So badly. Yeah, I think so. So right now I'm in the process of getting my Jeep fixed. Right now it still has a lifetime warranty through Mopar, which has been an amazing perk. They have done so much for me. They've rebuilt the engine. They've done so much work on it. I want to say I've saved at least $12,000 worth of labor and parts. And I only paid $2,500 for the lifetime warranty when I bought it. And it was the year before Mopar stopped offering lifetime for electrical and mechanical outside of normal wear and tear, of course. They have handled so much for me. It's amazing. And it's $100 deductible, by the way. So I think I've maybe spent $700 in deductibles with all the visits of all those services and whatnot. But I think the move is sell the Jeep, get a bin. Nice. So Gemma 4 should be no problem with this. Let's refresh this. Is this a bot icon yet? Or did it lock up again? It may have yeah, Hermes is locking up back to back. Okay. As soon as it finishes this this line of work here, we'll shut it down and give it more memory. When doing speech to text, I have to slow down so it picks up my words correctly. Okay, nice. Okay, nice, nice. You and Greek, both New Yorkers, and migrated. Greek NYC. I don't know if he's in chat. He might be secretly lurking. He's that other Cowboys fan in here. I know that he was based out of that area and then migrated to Florida. I'm not sure if it was in the late 80s. I don't think it was that but it also wasn't that recent. You know what I mean? But it wasn't that long ago for sure. Not to dox you, Greek. All right, I'm gonna take a quick bio break while this VM is kind of going through its motions. Let's leave this. I guess we can't even leave anything visible, eh? Leave this one visible. Burp. Also, just put on some more water boiling because it's time for another fresh press. Not necessarily for hot coffee. I don't know if anybody does this, but I'll sometimes make a new batch, drink 1 cup of hot coffee, ice the rest. I do love iced coffee later in the day, especially as it starts to heat up. You know, mornings over here in the Bay Area are generally colder and overcast. But, you know, especially this week, late afternoon, it gets nice and warm in this area. About to do some iced coffee. Let's put ones in the chat for the iced coffee lovers. And I realize, forgive me, Barika. Let's see. Currently hosting everything on DigitalOcean. Any suggestions for a home lab? First off, what's your daily driver? What's your computer that you use every day? Do you have a workstation at home? Do you have a laptop, a MacBook, M1, 2, 3, 4? If you can share a little bit more about the resources you have available, chances are you could just migrate to some local hardware that you already have and you don't need to go and buy new hardware. Or is the question is, what hardware should I buy for a home lab? So it's very specifically for me, it's ice cubes. I can't, like, cold coffee. Now, are you talking about room temperature coffee? Because yes, that's rough. Like cold coffee, yeah, that's rough. But if it's been in the fridge and then you add some ice cubes in it, oh, that's just something different to me. I don't know why the ice cubes make it taste different. I swear I'm not trying to, Maestro. So what's the difference between, all right, now we need to go down an educational. What is cold brew? Explain. Wait, why is it searching with Google? This should have been searching with Brave. That's weird. I prefer Brave's results. Google is known to sell themselves by steeping coarsely ground coffee beans in a cold or room temperature water for an extended period of time, typically 12 to 24 hours. Slow, no heat extraction process differs significantly from traditional brew. So this is, I always thought cold brew was just coffee that was made and it was turned into a cold. I didn't realize it was this. Huh. I mean, could I cold brew with a French press? Duval knows what's up. Yeah, the only reason I don't do espresso here is I don't have an espresso maker. So I do my French press. But back in Portugal, I have one of those in-wall espresso makers, and it's literally, you know, it's easy to drink 10 shots of espresso a day without even blinking an eye. Yeah. Yeah, so here's some perspective for you, Badika. This machine that I've been working on for the past 3 years is an M1 Max with 32 gigs of RAM. I am still hosting Muddy locally and Hermes locally. Now, as we found, Hermes is starting to run into some issues, but Muddy only has 2 cores, 2 threads, or I guess it's a little bit different on the Mac, but 2 cores and 12 gigs of memory. So just for perspective, like, I've been able to accomplish a lot with just 32 gigs of memory. So it's more than enough. Now, when you compare it to other people's setups, of course, it's nothing. My next, daily driver is going to have 128 gigs of RAM. I'm doing a big jump. But just to let you know, like, I've been hosting the boot camp. Like, all of that was on this while I had Muddy OS running in the background. So keep that in mind. Like, I've been able to accomplish a lot with 32 gigs of RAM, especially if, the Windows 11 computer that you have, depending on what you're using it for, maybe 28 of that 32 is always available, right? I think 28's more than enough to run most systems. I think just start off with 8, and then once you reach certain blockers, then up it to 12, then maybe 16. I had Muddy OS operating on 16 gigs of RAM at one point, but I realized it was overkill, right? Once I stabilized some automations and stopped, tinkering with the dashboards that I built out. So yeah, listen, I think that's enough without having to spend more money. You know what I mean? Why not start with that? Now, when it comes to local models, like you may need a GPU to yeah, depends on what you want to run here. I have not. Cold brew, you just put grounds in water for, so I could use my French press to make cold brew. I think maybe I'll do that today no, I'll do that Thursday into Friday. That way I give you a little, now I'd imagine you grind up the beans, you put it all in cold water, you fill it to the top. I'll put this top without pushing it, and then I just put it in the fridge. Is that okay? And then I leave it like that for at least 18 hours. And then in the morning I press it down. Is this what I understand? Or does it need to be room temperature before it goes into the refrigerator? Be very curious on the best process there. I like Stoke cold brew, lightly sweetened. Okay, I'm guessing that's a brand. Yeah, learn something new every day. Keep learning, man. Keep learning. There's too much. Okay, so you literally answered me as I didn't finish all your comments. Okay. I'll do this tomorrow. That way, Friday morning on our live stream, it'll be weird to have some cold coffee. Well, I'll be realistic with you. I'll probably move it to its own jar and then make a fresh one Friday morning. But then we'll try that towards the end of the live stream, depending on the temperature on Friday. If it starts off as a hot day, we'll start off with some cold brew for sure. I'm gonna send you a link to an easy espresso. Okay. I think I want to say my sister has that brand. Okay. Okay. Let's go, cold brew crew. All right. Man, he's just locked up. I want to force reboot, but I also would rather have him finish the work. Okay. But yeah, I hope that answers it, Badika. I feel like the system you have now, you can probably get away with migrating it. Just start with one, of course. You could probably save some money, especially if you don't need access to it. You know, DigitalOcean provides the ability to access it from any system anywhere. But if you don't need that and you're happy with just talking to your agents through Telegram as a way of accessing it when you're outside of your local network, I don't see why, you know, you could probably save a good amount of money monthly there. Okay. Definitely be doing this tomorrow. All right, I really want this to finish, so that water's done. All right. Thanks everyone for their patience. Had to make that coffee. Slight little intermission there. All right. Yeah, I think you can honestly accomplish that with that machine you already have without having to spend more. But you can also justify a new expense or a new purchase from the perspective of, okay, let's say I take the next 6 months worth of costs and I buy a machine, right? It'll pay itself back in 1 year time. And when I say pay itself back, it would have saved you the difference, right? If you want to look at it that way. But I have a feeling the machine you have, especially since you're not using any local models, can get the job done. Come on, Hermes, where we at? Looks like we're gonna be testing this one before we even play with Hermes. Why is that so difficult to remember?
Odysius.
Odysius, okay. Man, this is, I think I'm gonna force reboot it. It's not like it was some critical task. Yeah. That's a bummer. We're just gonna force it, hard shutdown. And we'll leave it at 2 cores. I don't want to give it 4, but I don't have to. I think it just needed memory. That's it. Glad I didn't lose you, Duval. I know I need to create a BRB screen. Yeah, hopefully, we'll see. Too many passwords. Oh, I think this was an easy password. I think I said this one easy. Yeah. Where's activity? Oh, it's called System Monitor here. That's right, it's Activity Monitor on Mac OS. All right, I'm just gonna keep this up, just to keep a visual. Oh. That's a first. Interesting. I mean, he's online. Maybe the dashboard just needs a moment to reload. I could have sworn this was set to a static IP, no? That reset with that hard refresh? It did. That's why the dashboard's not loading. Okay. Interesting. That's weird. I guess I'll tinker with that later. Yeah, that's boring work. Demo. Let me get that old IP set. In the meantime, we'll keep this on screen. Manual apply. Done. So now that should load. There we go. Yeah, that was a weird little glitch. Interesting. right, let's copy this over. Let's give this a dark mode, eh? Love the orange. And I feel like this resolution is too small. Let's give it a 1920 by 1080. What are you talking about? Wait, what did I show? Are you talking about the light to dark mode? Oh, yeah. I really got to create my own just user-friendly. Why is there a floppy disk? Come on, VMware. Why are you doing that? Flash bling. Flash bang, not bling. What was my brain thinking? Okay, okay. All right. Without squirrel ado, let's get into it, shall we? I also should probably check oh, it's only got 4 gigs of memory. Feel like we're gonna have to up this quite a bit, huh? I think I'll give it 16. The other, I know I have another one has 8 on this machine. I think this machine only has 48 total. So 8 plus 16, that's only 24, plus another 8 miscellaneous. That should be enough. I feel like 16 gigs should be more than enough. We'll run it at 16. And it should be rebooting our machine. Cool. Got it. All right. It should grab this clipboard, no? I mean, let's just go to GitHub. Whoops. I feel like this thing is like 1 click off. Yeah, there's some weird lag. And I also cannot type right now. My goodness. You and me both. You and me both. Where's the GitHub link? I don't feel like having to log into it. Whoa. Let's go one at a time, shall we? What are my keybinds in this VM? I'll just do everything manually. Shift Control V, Shift Control C. Let's try that. Better, there we go. That is really annoying to have to do each time. It's the voice to text revolution. Damn it, Whisper Flow. Yo, what's up, Damien? How you doing? Welcome. Yep, I cannot type right now. What is going on? Oh, I did it again. Python. Yeah, it's all welcome. I love seeing new faces here. Yeah, well, I don't do it on my phone necessarily. It's primarily just a workstation thing. I still type important emails that I want to convey. Although I've been finding that creating the first draft of the email now, responding, just talking to it as if I'm talking to the person, helps me prepare a more finely tuned response than just typing it from scratch like I've been doing my whole life. I mean, we gotta keep flexing our brains, you know. We gotta keep flexing our brains. We gotta keep. Yo, what's up, Steve? Welcome. So Atlas is a plugin that I've been working on. We're kind of squirreling around here. You're new here, so first off, welcome. Thank you for being here. We jump around. Sometimes we'll squirrel, and I wanted to deploy Odysius, or why am I having such difficult time saying this?
Odysius.
Oh, I said it right. Odysius. Whisperflow is the sauce. I mean, it's great. It's great. It's a gift and a curse, depending on your perspective. You know what I mean? But we're now deploying Odysius on a fresh VM just to test it, to see, you know, what local models we can run with Odysius and this VM that we've allocated 2 cores and 16 gigs of memory. But Agent Atlas is a plugin I've been working on selfishly for me, right? I build things for me first and foremost. But it's a place to visualize your multi-agent team on Hermes. So it will eventually be open source. Currently it's for me only, just as this floating chat bubble I built for me. And then I dropped it on Friday or Saturday of last week. So if you go back to, I think it was Saturday's long form video, we dropped the public repository for this. I could actually go to GitHub. Clearmud. There it is, Hermes chat bubble. Oh wow, 15 stars. Look at that. This is like my first official release too, which is great. But like I build things selfishly for me first and foremost, Steve. And then I realize the public has use for it. So once I get this to a point where I think it's ready to drop to the public, I'll drop it. But until then, I'm going to keep working on it. I build in public as much as I can around here. But this was originally built for me to visualize my team before I actually created the agent profiles. And what's kind of nifty about this is now that my team is set, my 5 executives are set and my lanes are set, now I'm having my executive assistants reference the atlas to create a delegation map so that he knows that as a task comes in from me, he tries to figure out, is this engineering, marketing, growth, research, or bits of both? And then he hands it off to those agents. And then those agents then hand off whatever task to each relevant, like, I don't want to call them sub-agents because they have their own profiles. But they have essentially their own delegation rules, right? So I've been building this out, listen, selfishly for me, but I've been getting a lot of requests about it. So eventually I will release it, but it's still not dialed in for me. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to release something that isn't fully working for me. And to be fully transparent, you know, my marketing and growth departments, I have not been working on those. I'm first building out my engineering and my research. Because I still have my multi-agent team on OpenClaw as well, right? So it's like, but I'm taking all the lessons I learned from multi-agent teams from OpenClaw to Hermes. I created this visual because I wanted a traditional org chart view, but I didn't want to create a siloed plugin that was maintained by me. I wanted it to reference the agent profiles within Hermes, right? So it actually pulls from your agent profiles list here to populate the atlas. Now, in my particular case, I didn't have to like fit in these agents into each column. Because I named the agents engineering, like I didn't give them special names. I just said the department and then the task for each of their names. It knew exactly where to place them. For everybody else using this, I'm not sure how you're naming your agents. It may not intuitively know how to structure your org chart. In my case, it did because I took that simple approach where I named all of my chiefs, my executives, unique matrix themes named, of course, but all the other agents underlying, I just named the department and then the task. I recommend everybody do the same, you know. But next up, it's like, once I have this dialed in, for me, it's almost dialed in. I think I should create an onboarding mechanism with the plugin for when you first install the plugin. It takes you through an onboarding of like, okay, who's your default agent? Who's your system admin? Who's your executive assistant? You know, trying to learn more about your agent profiles so that it knows how to present them on the atlas. I think that's going to be a critical step before I release this. But not only do we have this list view, we have a floor plan. And the reason I did the floor plan is because I wanted a 3D view as well. And eventually this 3D view, I want it to be animated in a sense of like, this is going to be tied in with the Kanban board. So as a request comes in, my executive assistant, Neo here, hands it off to whatever department head. That department head then hands it off to his agents in the bullpen or in the research pod. And then you can visualize everything on one screen. That is a work in progress. I'm not there yet. That's my vision for it. So I probably won't release this to the public until that part is ready. Now, I'm gonna offer beta testing opportunities to people in the community, people in the Discord, who are gonna help me debug certain issues that I am just not seeing on my end. But listen, this is still very much a work in progress. But if you want to see me build it live, I've literally slowly built this out over the past couple of weeks here on these live streams. I've worked on it a little bit off air, but for the most part, I built most of the foundation on these live streams. Hey, thank you. Hey, keep an eye out in the Discord. We'll get beta testing up as soon as possible for this. Maybe as soon as next week. Nice. Hey, and this is how you start, right? You just start, look at how everybody's using these agents. Look at how everybody's using these systems. And more importantly, deploy one from scratch and just use it as a chat. Use it as an executive assistant, a personal assistant for that matter, and just start asking it questions, sharing context about what you would like to accomplish. And you will slowly start to define and build out that team and build out certain use cases for you. So awesome. Right on. Hey, thank you, Maestro. Hey, thank you. Thank you, Damien. Oh, this, I'm guessing we're talking about Odysius. I said it. See, it sounds so wrong, even though I said it correctly. All right. Let's see. So the icon should be done. Yes, the icon for the Atlas is now a robot. I like that. That's a bit more fitting. I actually kind of feel like it should be a globe, but since it's related to bots and agents, I feel like the bot icon is more fitting. So I'll leave it at that for now. So now, oh, I forgot to change that. I noticed this to be an issue. There it is. So by default, Ubuntu will blank out the screen after inactivity. Got to make sure we check that off. Where is it? Power, this one here. That way it doesn't do that again. Yeah, this is a great place to start. Like my first, I want to say, month of using Hermes, I just asked it questions. I just started learning about how it works, how it communicates, what it's capable of. If you haven't already, you should go check out, I'll be releasing some videos on this stuff, but if you go to the news research docs and then skills and type in Kanban, I highly recommend, if you're going to do a multi-agent team, you definitely want to link these Kanban skills to your agent. If anything, this will be a great learning experience, Steve. I want you to go and link your agent to these 4 skills right here: the video orchestrator, the codex lane, the orchestrator, and the worker. And say, hey, can you please compare these 4 skills? You know, if like, should I incorporate these into our system? What's the best use cases for them? Pros and cons, etc., etc. Have it create an HTML doc for you. Just learn from it comparing these 4 skills and you'll learn a lot. Odysius. Setup.py. I'm just going to keep everything default here. So this is strictly a demo. Why isn't this Shift Control C, Shift Control V? Interesting. Am I really gonna have to type that manually? Fine. Am I really gonna have to do loopback or localhost? Should work. Guess it wanted loop back over it, huh? Alright, so we can go ahead and just full screen that so you guys don't get jarred by that terminal on the right. Whoops. Come on, Firefox. I know that was me. There's a slight delay on this VM. I mean, yes. Get a little bit more specific here. You talk about agents with Hermes? I'm guessing that's how you found this video, yeah? Discord, we only hand out at the end of the live stream, so stick around and we'll drop a link. Yeah, exactly. This right here, Steve. So I actually want to go to... Hey, peace out, Sharma. Have a good night. Catch you later this week. Hope you have a great rest of the week here. All right, let's go back up to the top here. Where is it? Cookbook. Oh, we're already all good there. And just keep searching for cookbook related. I mean, I guess we can just go to the cookbook tab, right? There we go. Did it already scan? I'm guessing it already scanned our hardware? Okay, just rescan. Yeah? Wow, that's cool. So there's no Gemma options here. Interesting. Yeah, nice, nice. Yeah, so Gemma is here in the list. I just had to... Good point, Duval. Now, I'm going based off of its score. Now, I wonder what it's scoring from. But I feel like we should just pick Quen 1.5, right? Needs 8 gigs. Why not? Here, let me just try to run it instead of downloading it. Nothing. Oh. Where is settings? it's like flashing really, really quickly. Do I really need to set up a Hugging Face token? Let's just try going with Gemma then. Just for the sake of testing. That's pretty dumb. Nice, nice. Have you looked into Gbrain at all? I'm just installing it. Man, why is this terminal so small? I hope it expands. So we need to do a Hugging Face token, eh? All right, let me take this off screen to do all the token stuff here. Log in. Could have sworn I already set this up. Should be good. Oh no, so it looks like it actually did finish downloading. Okay, nice. I actually didn't need to... I was just being impatient. As per usual. So let me move that back on screen then. No models connected. I could have sworn we just got done connecting Gemma, no? Oh, is it still downloading? That's why? I mean... My confusion was it was just at 0 and it was giving me errors saying it needed a hugging face token. That's why I thought... And it said finished here after the fact when I went down the rabbit hole of resetting my password for that account because I did not have that memorized. But I feel like I still may need to set that. So let me, that way I don't have to blur the screen. Let me finish setting up my hugging face token here. There should be one with the free account, right? Or am I really gonna need to pay for an account? Access tokens, create new token. Guessing it's the access tokens, right? Yeah. Demo, copy. Okay, saved. I think I can bring this back over now. Just looking for that setup guide here. Because Cookbook allows you to install and download, which we've done. But now I believe we need to go through the setup. Right? That's what I would presume. So let's minimize that. Select model. Still no models, so I'm guessing type setup to get started. Just pasting it in this chat. Okay. So I would presume that we open up Cookbook. Maybe we copy tmux. I don't think that's it, but nope, that's not going to be it. Whoops. Huh. Wow. Keep wanting to go to the right to zoom out. That's what it appears, right? But like, we should be able to run any local model, and since we've already downloaded Gemma, right? So I think the solution here is maybe download and set up Gemma 4B. So maybe I'll just do this separately. I mean, why is Google telling us to go to Ollama? That's I don't even have Brave in here. I mean, all roads point to Ollama, apparently, is the easiest way. But it seems like this is the way we are doing it from... Doesn't just run locally? Since we're already down the Hugging Face path, excuse me. Of course I didn't spell that right. My spelling's gone to shit. Ah, did it again. Oh no. Some of these hotkeys are causing me to inspect the page. That is really annoying. Oh wow, it's almost noon. Nice. Finished all the work. It's good. It's good to hear, man. Yeah, I'm already liking Ollama's simplicity here, so we'll see. We might have to carry on and continue testing this on Friday because I want to record some videos today, so I can't keep live streaming all day. Yes. Did I not spell that correctly? No, I did. Go check in on the... I think we're all done with work on the Atlas for the day. I think it's been a solid day. Nice. Good to know. Good to know. I mean, once I run it here, Odysius should detect it, right? So let's just see if we can at least start prompting it before we end stream. What we can do while we wait. So we're going to test desktop. And then, you know what? I think we should do these four first. Agent, task writer, delegation map, daily operating brief. They're going to record that one or this one. Maybe it makes sense to do this one first. Okay. Who's this by? Do I also have to... One, 1, 4, 3, 4. I keep zooming out like I'm in Mac. It's really annoying. Nice, it detects Gemma 4, E4B, yo. Ah, very nice. I'm gonna have to check this out. Now that I'm starting to go down these local model rabbit holes. Oh, I have seen this icon before. I've seen this. I just never downloaded this. Ooh, I'm loving this UI. If you know me, you know I love this vertical icon approach. Okay. It's thinking to add the explanation. It's amazing how spoiled we get from using these frontier models that just respond. I mean, to give it the benefit of the doubt, we are running one of the cheapest possible models. What task should we give them? Please explore this repository. And give me a list of 4 use cases, please. I could give it more if I wanted to, for sure. I would just have to shut down this VM. It's experimental, I think, more than anything. And let's also be mindful that, you know, people are using AI from all over the world, from different backgrounds, right? Different accessible resources. For some people, Gemma is the only thing they could afford to run. So I want to be respectful of that as well. I think we're also just, most of us are accustomed to just using these frontier models in the max format. Yeah, this is the type of thing that I don't expect it to respond in real time. I'm going to come back to this in a few hours and it should have a response. So I'm going to start using this between now and Friday, just in that format. If I have an idea, I'm going to send it and then I'll go back to it in a few hours to see what happens. You know what I mean? Interesting. I wish I had a more powerful local machine to run this so I can fully test Odysius. But shout out PewDiePie for making this and sharing it with the world. Yes, I'm running... this one is only on 2 cores, and I think I gave it 16 gigs of RAM. And then my Hermes, 2 cores, 12 gigs of RAM, Muddy. I believe he's down to 2 cores, 12 gigs of RAM. But you got to keep in mind, these are using OAuth subscriptions to operate, right? So, no, I have not. On Windows, yes, I did use Docker for a bit when I was testing for demo purposes. But on Linux, I don't see the point. For me personally. To me, it just adds another layer that would complicate things. Or are you talking more so from the perspective of just having one beefy VM with multiple Docker instances? I don't mind creating these separate VMs, keeping things sandboxed and segregated from demo to demo or system to system. I personally don't mind it. Ah, yes. I've thought about it, but I'd rather use Linux VMs. I prefer them. My main reasoning is I do have a VMware ESXi server that I will be migrating, all of my local VMs to that server, the ones that are gonna stay, right? I'm in the process of repurposing, rather just fixing up that server. I've already maxed out the memory. I got to get a new motherboard for it because the VGA port did brick, and my RAID controller isn't failing, but one of the drives in the RAID array is faulty, but I can't read it without VGA port working, so I gotta get that resolved. I found one on eBay. I just haven't pulled the trigger because that old motherboard they're trying to sell for 400, where I feel like it should only be 200. You know what I mean? So, but long story short, it's just how I prefer to do things. I'm not saying there's a right or wrong way of doing things. I think it's all a matter of your background and how you want your environment to be set up. But since I have that server, I fully plan on just drag and dropping those VMs into that vSphere and having them be hosted there permanently. All right, chat. I think it's time, though. I think it's time. It's almost lunchtime. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me on your Wednesday. It's been a fun one. Stay tuned. We're going to continue fine-tuning Agent Atlas. I think on Friday's live stream, it's going to be part Atlas, part Odysius. I still feel like I'm saying that wrong. And yeah, I'm going to get to recording the videos for the week today. And we're just full steam ahead. I'm going to continue working on my Hermes. Maybe we'll work more on fine-tuning our lanes on Friday as well. But again, Friday is going to be a short episode because I do have a busy day. So we'll probably cap it at 2 hours on Friday. So yeah, without further ado, thanks again for taking time out of your day to hang out with me here on Clearmud. Shout out to every single person here. Mr. Baker, Maestro, Duval, KC, welcome to the channel. And trying to keep scrolling. Steve, thanks for stopping by. Diplo, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for reminding me, actually. Let me pop a Discord link. Thank you, Damien. Thank you, Sharma. Thank you, Barika. I can't keep pinning any more comments because I can't keep scrolling. Mr. Baker, right here. Great minds. Mine's a bit delayed. Oh yes, Sean, thank you. Couldn't pin your comment. My chat only scrolls up so far on this app to pin the comments at least. So let me get a Discord link out here. All right, there we go. And yes, sir. Hey, Discord will get first dibs on beta testing, so hopefully I'll open that up as soon as next week. We shall see. But yeah, listen, thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll catch you Friday, same time. Until then, happy building. Cheers.